Hello viewers, Sniper Wolf 1001 here with another figure unboxing and review, and today we're going to take a look at the First4Figures Shiranui Exclusive Edition. Now, I am super excited to go through this because Okami is hands down one of my favorite games of all time, and this model, when I saw it online, like, I've been waiting for this since 2018. It finally came to my house just the other day, and I'm really excited to unbox it, set it all up, get the lights working and everything, and then take a good look at this. So, just taking a look at the box here, this is a really big box. I haven't really dealt with a big box like this since my Metal Gears, like my Metal Gear Rex and my Metal Gear Ray. So, when I actually got to pick this up, this was actually pretty big. It was actually kind of heavy too. But if I just pan around this, the box is very aesthetic. I really like the way that it looks. Of course, the front side here showing Shiranui and Shaku there. Very beautiful artwork that they have right there. Of course, Shiranui Exclusive Edition. I'll get to what the Exclusive Edition has in just a moment as I pan around the box, but of course Okami. So, taking a look on this side here, we have a couple of photos here of Shiranui with the lighting effect activated on the solar reflector. Another one here from from another angle. On this side here, we're gonna have another image, more images of Shiranui here, and then down here, just kind of a close-up of Shaku there on the solar reflector with it lit up. Now onto the back section. So here is where they have all of the information. So right here, I think this is really cool. First4Figures definitely put a lot of love into this. I like how they have a bit of a story here with describing Shiranui and her relevance to the series. And then as you go down there, it shows the features here. The Shiranui Exclusive Edition comes with the following. So, of course, the statue itself. Highly detailed base capturing the beautiful and vibrant scenery from the Okami series. Statue comes with a mini Ishaku figure, LEDs for the solar reflector, of course, and then different modes, LEDs for the main, of course, the different modes, and then it comes with an authentication card. And this was limited to 1,700 pieces worldwide, and the thing that's kind of cool is that right here it shows my product number, so I guess this was mine in the production line. So, with all that said, I'm ready to jump into this colossal box here. So I'm gonna unbox it real quick and then take a look at the model inside. So just out of the top of that box, of course, it's gonna have a lot of promotional stuff for First4Figures' website. But right here, here's the authentication card, which is pretty cool. I think I'm definitely gonna hang this up somewhere in my room. Really nice. I really like this this pose, this angle here of the Shiranui model. And then, of course, on the back here, this is going to give you the instructions on how to install all of the different tendrils and parts. Pretty much just to completely assemble Shiranui together. Ooh. Alright, so we just have this packaging here. Alright, so this is the authenticity card right here. Of course, I like how they have a little quality control sticker right here. Passed, of course. Oh man, okay, so with one portion of it off, of course we have Shiranui right here. We just get all this plastic off. Ooh, and here we go. This model is pretty damn big. Let me just unpackage the rest of the stuff here. So of course we have the solar reflector here, looking very beautiful. I really love the colors on this. And then here's Shiranui's tail. Just right here, Shiranui's tail. So I'm guessing this is supposed to be the battery for the base here, for the lighting effect. Of course, this is, it's battery powered, but it also has a USB cable. You can hook it up, you can use a USB to power it as well. Up here, are the various tendrils. And then right up at the very top, we have the Ishaku model. So I'm just going to get him out of this little bag here real quick. So here he is. There is Ishaku. And very beautifully detailed here. This is definitely a lot more of what you'd see this character than you would in-game. Which I'm actually pretty impressed with a lot of the fine details on such a minuscule character. I love the scrolls that they have on his back there. Pretty cool looking, and of course the little beetle helmet that he has. You can see that he's wearing like a bit of armor here. A bit of like leg armor on the side there. Some markings there on the flap in the front. Of course, his little weapon that he's wielding. And then, last but not least, we're going to have the base. Whew. This base is actually pretty heavy. This is actually the heaviest piece in this whole box. It's actually pretty weighty. But taking a look at the base here, you can see this base is very beautifully designed. I like how they captured like the open field with the flowers and whatnot, looking very beautiful. All of the flowers. Love the color shifts that they have through them, with like where they have like the deep color on the inside as it fades out to like a nice white on the outside for all of these. Very beautiful. Another thing that I really love too is how they captured the little water stream here. Apparently, from what I remember, I think they mentioned how this was something that they decided to do late in the production process. So they actually made this look a lot more liquid-like, which is actually pretty cool. This looks really good. I'm honestly very, very impressed with how they did this detail here with the water stream, and even these parts here with the flowers that kind of dip down into this little texture. Really cool looking base. Really love this. So now that I have my Shiranui out, so you can see here's a naked Shiranui, no tendrils on or anything. I guess before I assemble it, just take a look at Shiranui. Just take a look at the little details here for Shiranui. So, taking a look at the paints on the face here, you can see the paints from what I'm seeing are just absolutely flawless. Looking very beautiful. I really love this little paint design on the face here for Shiranui. I kind of like this a little bit more than what Amaterasu has. But of course, you know, we have like the blend between the blacks and the reds here on the various wings on Shiranui's body. Of course, a little black a black outline here for the ear. Of course, onto the back, more of these little wings here coming off of the individual legs, and then at the bottom part as well too. Looking at the claws are very beautifully detailed as well too. If my camera wants to focus here. Alright, there we go. So the claws look really good. I love how big they are, how they extend out of the paws. The angle on them is really nice too. The claws looking really good, and the material is very sturdy for sure. So the Shiranui statue looking really good. Of course, the back with the different mounting points in for the tendrils. And then of course, all of these mounting points are actually color coded so that you put in like the right tendrils in the right spots. So you can see these little dots. There's like a blue dot, green dot up here, and then the red dot. So all of these are going to be color coded, and then yeah. So I'm probably going to fast forward through this part, but I'm going to quickly assemble Shiranui together, and then give my impressions of it after it's done. I guess if you were to mount it into the base here, so the base has this little section right in here where there's a little indent, and then Shiranui's right foreleg, has a peg that drops into that spot. So all you're going to do is just line that up and just place it in there, and then that should get you all sorted for the base. And just like that, Shiranui is completely seated. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here, and then just apply the tendrils, the rest of the stuff onto Shiranui. I guess for now I'll just attach the tail on. So the tail is magnetized, so even like right here, this thing, it just wants to go in. It's pretty cool. So that's always going to stay in there pretty well. Pretty interesting that they did that. And of course, with the tail actually in, adding more to Shiranui's look. So yeah, I'm just going to skip ahead here. Alright, so here, I just fully assembled Shiranui all together. So, just taking a look at it, you can see we have all of like the various tendrils all attached to Shiranui's body here. We have the solar reflector mounted in, and then of course Ishaku there standing at the top, kind of facing in the same direction as Shiranui. And with this whole thing set up all together, this model is honestly, this model is so phenomenal. I think this is hands down my favorite model that I've collected. I think I might like this more than my Metal Gears because there's just so much to look at here. From the wide breadth of colors that they have just simply on the base, where they have the beautiful colors coming from the plants, the different flowers, and of course the beautiful effect that they did on the stream of water down here, looking really amazing as well too. But then you kind of have that contrasted by Shiranui's kind of simple design with the whites and then the reds and black lines looking really nice, but then it all kind of culminates up to the solar reflector where we have this nice looking flame design where we have those deep oranges right here, I guess where the flame starts, and then it just starts to slowly transition out where it starts to go down into a bit of a yellow and then transition straight out into a green, looking very beautiful. And like the way that they design this where it's kind of like an opaque color, it's very beautiful here. Even at the base, at the top part here of the solar reflector, the design that they have right here, where they have these little flame details here, looking very beautiful on the solar reflector here. Taking a look at the back, just for a different angle, you can just see all of the various tendrils kind of all flowing backwards like that, coming out this way, looking very beautiful. I'm honestly like, this model has my jaw dropped right now. This is just such a beautiful model, and I love the scale of it. The size of it is just really good. It is a really, really big model for sure. Now, with all that said, one thing that I definitely want to take a look at now is the lighting effect for this thing. I want to see how it lights up. So I've had this base kind of connected to my USB charger now, so the battery's been charging for a little bit. So let's take a look at how this thing looks with the solar reflector all lit up. So if I press the button back here, so this lights up the statue really nicely. So you can see right back in here, all of the individual tendrils are completely lit up. You can see that even up here on the solar reflector, there's a very beautiful lighting effect up here as well too. Definitely adding a lot more to the design of the solar reflector. There's definitely certain things I didn't notice until it lit up here, like a lot of the individual flame curls that you can see here. But definitely a really beautiful looking effect here with the lights on, especially with the contrast between the different shades of orange. Like you see that the top darker curls, as well as up here, the way that it was just designed is very beautiful. How it just kind of transitions from that darker orange to a lighter orange down to a yellow, and then of course the way that those lights kind of transition outward, kind of fade out toward the end. Of course, like each individual tendril lighting up very brightly and very beautiful. Now, Shiranui has a secondary lighting mode as well too. It has like an animated mode. So if I press that button one more time, so now Shiranui goes through a little animation here. So you can just see right at the top of the solar reflector, the solar reflector is doing a little bit of like a flickering strobe effect here, which is really nice. Definitely makes it feel like there's like actual live flames on top of Shiranui's back. And then you can take a look at the tendrils down here, where each individual tendril is going through a bit of like a strobe effect as well here. Some are fading in, some are fading out, some are strobing. They're definitely kind of like revolving around, which is kind of nice. So definitely a lot of animation here to the lighting effect on Shiranui's solar reflector and back. I feel like this would definitely make for really good ambient lighting in your room if you have it set up. So definitely a nice looking piece. Now what I really want to see is what this looks like in complete darkness. So let me just go ahead with turning the lights off. But before I do that, apparently these tendrils, I think they mentioned that these tendrils are supposed to glow in the dark after they absorb a certain amount of light. So I guess after showing the lighting effect in the dark, I'll turn this off and then see what the tendrils are like. But let's get on to turning off all the lights for now. Alright, so here I have all the lights off. I can go one step further and turn my TV off. I'll do that in just a minute, but just taking a look at the model here in this low light, you can see that this lighting effect is very bright here, lighting up the entire statue here, and the flickering effect definitely looking really good, especially taking a look at the back here. You can definitely see how the green sections of the solar reflector light up a little bit better here too. So if I just turn my TV off, and we can make this completely dark, and there it is, in practically complete darkness here. We have the lighting effect going on, and yeah, just taking another close look at this model here during the dark. You see it's a very beautiful animated effect here. And looking at the solar reflector again up here as well too. Kind of nice how around the borders here of the reflector, how you can see it kind of lighting up from there as well too. It's a very beautiful looking design. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the lights completely off on the Shiranui statue and just see how the tendrils glow. So yeah, of course it's going to be a little hard to see, but you can see that the tendrils at the base are glowing a little bit. I'm pretty sure that if you expose these to light a little bit more, it'll probably glow a little bit brighter. But yeah, the tendrils definitely do have a little bit of a glowing effect as well when they're exposed to light, which is pretty cool. So, you know, this is definitely going to have some form of light regardless of if the statue is on or off, which that's a pretty cool feature. I really like that. But in its on mode, of course, without it flickering, everything completely on, you can see that the statue is very bright in the dark here. Definitely makes for some really good ambient lighting. You can practically use the Shiranui statue as a lamp, so that's actually pretty cool. So that pretty much covers everything that I wanted to talk about in regards to the First4Figures Shiranui Exclusive Edition model. Now, for my final thoughts, honestly, I am 100% satisfied with this model. There's not really much that I can say that's bad with this thing. Like, when it comes down to just the sheer detail, the colors, all the colors down to the base, all the way to the top, the colors are just so good. The way that they detailed the flowers, all of the flowers, the coloring on them is just so well done. Even the little water stream that they did on the base is very beautiful. The detail on Shiranui's claws there too was also really good. I think that the pose that they chose with Shiranui was also another really good pose, because I like how since you'll be facing the statue from this direction, you actually see the majority of Shiranui's body through this pose. Like, all of the legs are strategically placed so that, you know, you can see every single one of them. Like, there's no overlap here. Even the fact that they had the left foreleg kind of held up a little bit so that you could see it a little bit better in front of the right foreleg. Like, this pose was just really good, especially showing off the tendrils and the length of the solar reflector as well too, and the flowing tail at the back. This was just a really good pose that they chose to go with this model. Definitely very satisfied with that. All the colors, like down to Shiranui's colors, I'm very impressed with the detail, even on Shiranui's face. Like, the way that the paints, just how clean the paints are on, like, the reds and the blacks on Shiranui's face looks so good. Even on the little wings and stuff on the legs, looking very beautiful. Even down to the tail. It's just kind of crazy because, like, I kind of have like a Shiranui background right now on my PS4, and I kind of like Shiranui's paint design, I guess, on its face and body just a little bit more than Amaterasu's, just because Amaterasu is a little bit more simplistic. There's definitely a lot less red markings on Amaterasu compared to Shiranui, but again, going back onto detail, there's just so much detail that, like, I feel that there's a little too much detail sometimes, because earlier I actually noticed a little something back here, that little black spot. And yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, well, they definitely covered all their bases here. That's for damn sure. But yeah, there's a lot of detail going throughout this figure. Very impressed with it. Even down to the lighting effect. The lighting effect, very beautiful. Like, I think once I set this up in my room, this is gonna be like my main source of like ambient lighting. I don't even think I'm gonna use my my lamp anymore, because this is more than capable of doing that. Plus it has like an animated feature on it as well too. It's very bright, so it works very functional as a lamp as well. So it's honestly very multi-purpose in that regard as well too. Not just for looking at it aesthetically, but it lights up a room fairly nicely. Going back onto details again too, like I liked how Ishaku, I like the detail that they put onto Ishaku as well too. There's just so much detail going on. Such a miniature character that you don't even really see too much detail on to begin with in the games. Just so much detail. Like, I feel like First4Figures definitely poured their heart and soul out into this model. And for me, as an Okami fan, like, this is just perfect. Like, there's, like, I feel like this statue was definitely meant for me, and I'm really happy that I finally got it. Yeah, I think this is a very good purchase. The only thing about it is that the price point is a little steep, because this was nearing like $600 Canadian. It's a pretty expensive model, that's for sure. But I mean, for the depth of quality that's presented here, as well as like the lighting features and stuff, there's definitely a lot of work that was put into this, so I can kind of excuse that price point. Yeah, overall, this is like, I think this is hands down my favorite figure that I've collected. It's really hard to say, because I really love my Metal Gear Rex. My Metal Gear Rex is my favorite, was my favorite at the time. But this is like, I don't know, it's like a tie between this and my Rex. Like, this is an amazing looking model, and I think it's going to look really good in my room along with my other models. So that's pretty much going to conclude the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys found it informative. There's definitely going to be more figure reviews and unboxings coming in the future. A lot more content to be had. I've also ordered another Okami figure from First4Figures. There's that Amaterasu statue that comes with the various different weapons. It comes with the beads, comes with the sword of Kusanagi, and I think the Divine Judgment as well. I have that ordered. That's not going to be coming till maybe the end of the year, maybe beginning of next year, but that should be on its way. So I hope you guys look forward to that. I know I'm going to be excited once that finally comes in. I'm going to put it right next to my Shiranui for sure. But with all that said, I hope you guys have a good night or a nice day, depending on where you are, and I'll see you all later.